Sitting too much and standing too little, it's one of the most common habits yet. Also, one of the most dangerous for leg muscles after the age of 60. It doesn't cause pain right away. It doesn't leave bruises. But hour by hour, day by day, it quietly drains the strength from your legs, the very thing that keeps you standing, moving safely, and living independently. Many older adults believe that eating well and taking vitamins is enough to stay healthy. But the truth is, if you're not standing up regularly, if you're not activating your leg muscles daily, then no amount of supplements can stop muscle loss, joint stiffness, or the increasing risk of falls. The problem isn't that you're getting older. The problem is that you're sitting too much. In this video, we'll explore why sitting too long can be so dangerous, how it affects your legs and your balance, and most importantly, what you can start doing right now to protect your strength with just a few small steps at home. Sitting is a natural state of relaxation. After a lifetime of hard work, many people enter retirement hoping to sit just a little more to enjoy tea, watch the news, chat with loved ones, or quietly watch the rain from the porch. Sitting isn't wrong. But sitting for too long without standing up and moving, especially after the age of 60, is something many people mistakenly believe is normal. The truth is, once we pass 60, our bodies don't function the way they used to. The musculoskeletal system starts to weaken. Muscles, especially those in the legs, thighs, and hips, begin to lose strength if they're not used regularly. It's not just age. It's because we sit too much and stand too little. Did you know, according to a Harvard study, after age 60, the body can lose 1 to 2% of muscle mass per year if regular movement isn't maintained. And that number can be even worse if you have a habit of sitting for hours on end without interruption. Unlike in your 30s, when your body could bounce back quickly after 60 if muscles aren't activated, they essentially go to sleep. The more you sit, the slower your blood flows. The small stabilizing muscles in your legs, the ones that help you balance, start to weaken quietly without you even noticing. You may find yourself standing up more slowly, feeling tired after a short walk, or feeling unsure when stepping off a curb. And you might simply think, I must be getting old. But no, you're not weaker because of your age. You're weaker because you're not standing up often enough. Sitting for long periods also affects your nervous system. Your reflexes slow down, so when you trip on a rug or lose your footing, your body may not react as quickly as it once did, and all it takes is one moment of imbalance to trigger consequences that last a lifetime. What makes it even more dangerous is that this habit of prolonged sitting doesn't cause pain right away. It's silent. It doesn't make you feel alarmed, and that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. You don't feel anything after one day of sitting. But months later, or a few years down the road, you'll feel it clearly, when your muscles are no longer strong enough to keep you walking confidently. And what's most heartbreaking is this: many older adults lose their independence not because of illness, but because their legs were simply forgotten. We can't turn back time, but we can change our habits starting today. And the very first simplest step is to stand up. We've already acknowledged that sitting too much and standing too little is a habit that can quietly lead to muscle decline, especially in older adults. But is this just a perception, or has it actually been proven by science? The answer is clear. Numerous large-scale studies worldwide have confirmed a direct connection between prolonged sitting and a marked weakening of the musculoskeletal system, especially in the lower body. Let's begin with a global study by the World Health Organization, WHO. It found that adults aged 65 and older who sit for more than 7 hours per day have 3 times the risk of early muscle loss compared to those who move lightly every 2 hours. This shows that it's not just about how long you sit, but how long you remain physically inactive in a row that poses a serious risk. For seniors, simply standing up and moving gently every 2 to 3 hours helps promote blood circulation, activate the muscles, and significantly slow the rate of muscle loss. Yet many older adults unintentionally fall into a pattern of sitting for hours on end, watching TV, reading, scrolling on phones, or simply not feeling motivated to move. A physiological study from the University of Queensland in Australia provides another striking insight. After just 60 minutes of uninterrupted sitting, muscle activation in the glutes and thighs drops by up to 50%. These are the same muscle groups that help us stand up, walk, and balance. This isn't just a technical statistic. It means that when you sit too long without changing posture, your muscles begin to shift into standby mode. They lose responsiveness. They stop preparing for action. And if this continues daily for months, it results in muscle weakening and eventually loss of balance and coordination. The CDC Centers for Disease Control and Prevention adds another layer of concern among adults over 65. 1 in 4 experiences a fall each year, and the most common reason, not external injury but internal decline in strength and postural control. The CDC notes that weakness in the quadriceps and gluteal muscles reduces your ability to brake when you trip. Many older adults no longer have the strength to stabilize themselves during quick turns or when stepping up. Falls are not just dangerous in the moment, they often lead to long-term consequences: broken bones, head injuries, hospitalization, or even early nursing home admission. When we look at these 3 studies side by side, the message becomes crystal clear. Sitting too much and standing too little isn't just a passive habit, it's a compounding health risk that affects your muscles, nervous system, and your ability to move independently. On one hand, prolonged sitting weakens the muscles. On the other, weakened muscles make movement harder, causing older adults to sit even more. And so the downward cycle begins. Sit too much, lose muscle; move less, sit more, lose muscle faster. What's worse is that this decline is slow and quiet. So quiet that most people don't notice until the damage is done. Based on solid peer-reviewed science, we can confidently say, sitting for long hours every day is one of the leading causes of muscle loss, poor balance, and fall risk in people over 60. But here's the hopeful part. You don't need a complex workout routine or heavy exercise regimen. With awareness and small consistent changes at the right moments, you can interrupt this decline and protect your strength before it fades. No one sets out to live a sedentary lifestyle. We don't wake up and say, today I'll sit for 8 hours without standing. But it's the repetition of familiar daily routines. Things that feel normal, that quietly lead many older adults into a lifestyle of too much sitting and too little standing, often without realizing it. Let's take a moment to reflect on a typical day. You wake up, make a cup of tea or coffee, and sit down for breakfast. Then maybe you watch the morning news, read the paper, or scroll on your phone. Time passes quickly, sometimes an hour, sometimes 2, and you haven't stood up once. By lunchtime, you're still sitting. After eating, you relax, maybe take a short nap in the chair, then settle in to watch television. Some people spend hours watching back-to-back shows, barely moving. In the evening, you have dinner, then sit again to play cards, knit, or read. And just before bed, perhaps you sit for one more news segment. If you add up all those small blocks of time, your total sitting time easily reaches 8, 9, even 10 hours a day. Now here's the key. These activities have value. They bring joy, relaxation, and mental stimulation, all essential for emotional well-being in later life. But if there's no movement between them, if you only stand for a few minutes in an entire day, if you can sit through an entire morning or afternoon without changing posture, then your body, especially your legs, will gradually begin to lose the very function they once performed with ease. So what are the everyday habits that quietly contribute to too much sitting? 1. Sitting still after waking up. Many older adults begin their day sitting, drinking tea, reading quietly, easing into the morning. But this is when your body actually needs movement the most to stimulate circulation, wake up the muscles, and loosen stiff joints. Remaining seated after a long night's rest only prolongs muscle inactivity. 2. Extended TV watching without breaks. You may only plan to watch one program, but then the news rolls into a drama, then into a game show. Before you know it, you've been sitting for 3 hours straight without once getting up. 3. Sitting immediately after meals. It's common to rest after eating, especially for comfort. But consistently sitting for 1 to 2 hours after each meal means your muscles are not being activated, and over time this contributes to weakness and reduced circulation. 4. Long periods of passive activities, reading, needlework, board games. These are all healthy and mentally enriching. But if you don't pause to stretch, stand, or take a few steps, even these activities become part of a larger sedentary pattern. 5. Sitting in low or overly soft chairs. Many people love their cozy armchairs or cushy sofas, but these chairs make it harder to stand up, and the more difficult it feels, the more likely you are to avoid getting up altogether. The important thing to remember is, no one chooses to be still all day. It's the small, repeated habits that quietly add up until we forget a basic truth. The human body at any age is designed to move. You don't need high-intensity workouts. You just need to stand up at the right moments, stretch your legs during long sittings, take a few steps around the house each hour. That alone helps maintain the flexibility, reflexes, and strength your legs need to support you. In summary, habits like sipping tea, watching a favorite show, or reading a good book are not the problem. They only become harmful when they're done for too long without movement in between. Recognizing these sitting too much patterns in your daily life is the first most important step toward gently but effectively adjusting your routine in a way that protects your strength and keeps you moving freely for years to come. The weakening of muscles, especially in the legs, doesn't happen overnight. It begins quietly, gradually, and most of the time without pain or any obvious discomfort. That's why so many people mistake it for a normal part of aging. But the truth is, muscles don't just grow weaker because you're older. They weaken because they've been underused for too long. Let's go through some of the most common early warning signs that your leg muscles may be starting to deteriorate. First, a subtle loss of balance when standing up. You sit for a while, and when you get up, you feel a bit unsteady. You may need to pause for a few seconds before taking your first step. This is often a sign that the muscles in your legs and glutes are no longer responding as quickly as they once did. Second, needing to push off your knees or a nearby surface to stand. If standing up from a chair bed or toilet has become more difficult and you find yourself using your hands for extra support, that's often because your thigh muscles are no longer strong enough to lift your body on their own. Third, your legs feel slow to react. When you turn quickly, stumble slightly, or miss a step, your legs no longer catch you the way they used to. You may feel a brief hesitation or have to grab something nearby to keep from falling. Fourth, your legs tire more quickly during walks. Even if you're walking the same distance as before, you may now feel tightness or fatigue in your calves or knees after just a few hundred feet. This isn't just about aging. It's a classic sign of weakened lower body muscles and slower circulation. And finally, a growing reluctance to climb stairs or walk longer distances. Maybe you notice your heart races going up steps. Maybe your legs feel shaky. You begin choosing the elevator more often, or saying no to outings that require more walking. All of these signs should be taken seriously. They are not simply a part of getting older. They are the direct result of a lifestyle with too little movement, too much sitting, not enough standing, and not enough daily activation of the muscles that keep us strong. The good news is, if you catch these signs early and respond appropriately, muscle decline can be slowed and in many cases even reversed. And the first step is simply this: start paying attention. Listen to the small signals from your body before you experience a true loss of balance before a fall forces you into recovery. The earlier you respond, the longer you'll hold on to strength, confidence, and independence. By now, we've identified the early signs of muscle decline in the legs, from slight imbalance to fatigue during walking to needing support just to stand up. But what exactly is happening inside the body? Why does simply sitting too long or moving a bit less after the age of 60 cause the legs to weaken so rapidly? First, let's look at the basic anatomy of the lower body muscular system. Each leg has 3 primary muscle groups that are essential for standing, walking, and maintaining balance. Gluteus maximus buttocks helps you stay upright and lift your body when standing or climbing. Quadriceps, front of the thighs. The main muscles involved in standing up, walking, and extending the knee. Calves, back of the lower leg, assist with stabilizing the body, pushing off the ground while walking and keeping the ankle joint steady. These are large weight-bearing muscle groups. They stay strong only when used regularly. But when physical movement is reduced, such as during long periods of sitting, these muscles begin to weaken faster than usual. Now let's talk about what happens inside the body. The biological side of aging. When you move, especially during walking, standing, or light activity, your muscles are activated. That activation signals the body to release specific growth factors and hormones, such as IGF-1. Insulin-like growth factor 1 helps repair and maintain muscle fibers. Testosterone and growth hormone, GH, support muscle mass and overall muscle function. But if you sit for hours on end, the muscles remain inactive. No signal is sent. The brain and endocrine system interpret this as, we don't need these muscles anymore. So the body reduces hormone production, leading to decreased maintenance and repair of muscle tissue. After the age of 60, everything slows down, especially muscle regeneration. Younger bodies can bounce back from inactivity or illness because they synthesize protein more efficiently. But in older adults, even with a well-balanced diet, protein synthesis drops significantly. In other words, you may be eating enough, but if you're not moving your body, your muscles won't know how to use that nutrition. The nutrients pass through, while the muscles continue to weaken. But it doesn't stop at the muscles. When muscles weaken, other structures weaken too. Muscles don't work in isolation. They are closely linked to ligaments, which stabilize joints, bones, which absorb and distribute force, sensory nerves, which provide feedback on position and movement. As muscles decline, ligaments lose support, making joints unstable and more prone to injury. Bones absorb uneven force, leading to joint pain and faster degeneration. Sensory reflexes slow down, reducing your body's ability to react to stumbles, increasing fall risk. We call this a systemic weakening chain. It starts with underused muscles, but spreads to joints, ligaments, nerves, and eventually impacts your entire ability to move independently. And what's shocking is this: it can all begin from something as simple as a long-standing habit of sitting too much. After 60, maintaining muscle mass is no longer automatic. It requires intention. Only when you understand how your body is working or no longer working will you realize why every step matters. Why every time you stand, stretch, or walk down a single step, you're not just moving, you're sending a signal to your body that you still need your legs. Your body doesn't slow down because it's old. It slows down because you've stopped reminding it to stay active. We now understand that sitting too much and standing too little, though seemingly harmless, is one of the leading causes of muscle loss, reduced balance, and leg weakness after age 60. But here's the good news. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle to reverse this. Small, consistent changes done daily can help restore strength in your legs, bring back confidence in your movement, and significantly reduce your risk of falling. Let's start with the most foundational habit, the 33 rule. It simply means for every 30 minutes of sitting, stand up and move around for at least 3 minutes. You don't need to do anything strenuous. Just walk a few laps around the room, stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, tiptoe in place, or lift your knees gently. It's not about building muscle, it's about waking your muscles up. This light activation keeps them responsive, improves circulation, and keeps your nervous system ready to react. Another powerful strategy is to blend movement into your daily routines. You don't need to dedicate a full 30-minute exercise session each morning. Instead, learn to stand up at the right times. While watching TV, stand and walk during commercial breaks. When taking phone calls, walk slowly around the house while talking. When waiting for water to boil or food to cook, try marching in place or rotating your ankles and wrists. By turning these passive moments into brief, intentional movements, you're changing the rhythm of your entire day without needing extra time. Your home environment can also be rearranged to gently encourage more movement. Keep frequently used items like water bottles or remote controls just far enough away that you have to stand to reach them. Choose chairs that are firm at a comfortable height and have armrests to make standing easier and reduce strain on your knees. Ensure your walking areas are well lit and clutter-free so you feel safe and confident moving around. Now let's talk about nutrition, a critical but often overlooked part of maintaining muscle. After age 60, the body's ability to synthesize protein naturally declines, so it's essential to get high-quality protein regularly, especially at breakfast. Start your morning with protein-rich foods like eggs, dairy fish, or tofu. Combine that with vitamin D from sources like salmon, sun-dried mushrooms, or eggs. And try to spend at least 10 minutes in the morning sunlight each day. This helps your body absorb vitamin D more effectively, supporting both your bones and your motor nerves. Add in key nutrients like magnesium and omega-3s from seeds, green vegetables, and healthy oils. They help reduce inflammation, ease muscle tension, and support recovery. For those willing to add light exercises to their day, here are 3 simple, safe, and effective movements. 1. Sit to stand 5 times. Sit in a stable chair. Use only your legs to stand up and sit down slowly without pushing off with your hands. 2. Heel raises 10 times. Hold onto the back of a chair. Slowly rise onto your toes, then lower back down. This strengthens your calves and improves stability. 3. Seated knee lifts 10 times each leg. Sit upright. Lift one knee to hip height, hold briefly, then lower it down. Repeat on the other side. This activates your thighs and core, improving step strength and control. Each movement only takes a few minutes, but when done daily, they strengthen your thighs, calves, and balance system in meaningful ways. But above all, remember this. It's not about how much you do in one day. It's about whether you do it consistently. Leg strength doesn't come from bursts of effort. It comes from gentle, regular habits, quiet but persistent. Your legs don't need promises. They need your commitment. Every time you stand up at the right moment, take a few steps, or even flex your ankle while sitting, you're sending a message to your body: I still need to move. I still choose to live actively. And from those small actions, you preserve the most valuable things: freedom, stability, and confidence right where you live. Sitting too much and standing too little, for younger adults, it might just be a poor habit. But for those over 60, it could be the starting point of a long, quiet decline, from muscle loss to balance issues, to loss of confidence, loss of independence, and ultimately the loss of what makes life feel truly worth living. Throughout this video, we've walked through each layer of the issue, from the biological changes of aging, to the early signs of muscle weakening, to the medical studies that confirm the risks, and most importantly, to simple solutions that can make a lasting difference. The core message isn't about working harder. Not everyone has the strength to hit the gym or walk miles every morning, but what everyone can do at any age is this: stand up. At the right time, consistently, and with a clear awareness that every time you move, you're preserving a piece of your independence. You don't need dramatic changes. Just this: every 30 to 40 minutes, stand up, take a few steps, stretch, roll your ankles. Instead of watching 3 hours of TV in one sitting, break it up. Instead of sitting still after a meal, take a slow walk around your home. Sip water. Breathe in the air outside. It's not much, but it's enough to remind your muscles: I still need you. And if you're still unsure, take a moment to look at your legs. Like old friends, they've been with you through decades, across so many paths, through so many journeys. Now the only thing they need is for you to keep using them with care. If you're hearing this right now, let it be a gentle reminder. Stand up. Right after this video ends. You don't need to do much. Just rise. Take a light step. In doing so, you won't just be strengthening your legs. You'll be choosing a future of freedom, safety, and dignity.